In our political system, follow the money isn't just important, it's sort of crucial. So here's one example. If you're supporting a candidate who says they want to get rid of fossil fuels 100% and switch completely over to renewable energy, you then find out that they get half their campaign contributions from fossil fuel companies. Immediately, by following the money, you know you need to look into that a little bit more deeply. And we often talk about the Green Party in American politics as either a bastion of inspirational third-party participation and interference with the destructive two-party duopoly of Democrats and Republicans, or sometimes people see the Green Party as a nuisance that ends up helping Republicans by taking votes away from the Democratic candidate. Now, the truth is usually more complex. Most Green Party candidates are running because their Green Party views are really their sincerely held political beliefs. And it does sometimes happen that they mathematically can be spoilers, right? They might get 5,000 votes in a race where the Republican won by 2,000 votes. And then we say, wait a second, if 40% of the Green Party votes had gone to the Democrat, we wouldn't have a Republican winning a seat right now. So that happens, okay? We now have an example of a Green Party candidate who was literally working for the Republicans. I'm talking about in Montana, Timothy Adams. Timothy Adams was a registered Green Party candidate. He was hoping to win the Green Party nomination and ultimately challenge Democratic Senator John Tester. Adams ended up losing the Green Party primary on June 5th by a little over 300 votes to Steve Kelly. So he didn't even win the Green Party primary. But what we've now learned is that Timothy Adams, running as a Green Party candidate, was on the payroll of the Montana Republican Party. Green Party candidate getting paid by the Montana Republican Party and also in charge of an anti-tax group. Anti-tax isn't exactly a Green Party platform pillar. Adams is listed as the treasurer for Montanans Against Higher Taxes, which is a group that was formed to oppose a property tax extension in the state. The Green Party of Montana was asked about this. They haven't really commented other than to say, we can't deny people the ability to file as candidates under the Green Party, full stop. If you get the number of votes required to be on the ballot, the Montana Green Party can't say, well, we know that you're getting paid by this or that group, so we're going to block you. They can't do that. So question one, is this an indictment of the Green Party itself? No, the answer is no. The possible spoiler effect of the Green Party is real. It has been real. It continues to be real, whether or not the Green Party candidate is on the Republican payroll. If anything, this tells us we should always think really critically and carefully about all of the effects that exist because of a vote that we cast. But what this does tell us is that we have to look really carefully at who we're voting for beyond just their policy position. So aside from whether Timothy Adams was on the payroll of the Republican Party, does it make sense that a Green Party candidate would be part of a right-wing anti-tax group? It doesn't really make sense. And as a strategy for the right to hurt Democrats, it's actually kind of slick because you run, if you're the Montana Republican Party, for example, you run the Republican candidate, that's the actual candidate, the person who you hope wins, but then you also help run a Green Party candidate. You appeal to the Republicans with the real candidate, and then you pick off some liberals with the Green Party candidate, which just helps to get that Republican candidate into office. And if you can swing just a couple percentage points in some districts, we are talking about even a few hundred votes counts in some of these state Senate and state House of Representatives seats, you can use the Green Party to help the Republican Party win. The left could do the same thing with libertarian candidates, right? If the left were organized in this way, and they don't seem to be, they could say, well, let's run the best Democrat that we can, but then let's also kind of quietly run a libertarian candidate to take away some votes from Republicans. I'm not saying I like this type of politics. I'm saying it's perfectly legal and both sides could do it, but it seems really it's Republicans who are good at this.
Well, it's fighting dirty, isn't it? And we've talked about Democrats maybe packing the court, adding D.C. and Puerto Rico as states, getting rid of voter ID laws. This sounds a little bit more extreme, but it's something Republicans will do, will continue to do. I mean, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility for them.
It's one of those things where it's like when you have an attorney review a contract for you, and they say, listen, here's a list of things that the other party could do if we don't change the contract. And then normal people would say, okay, but they're not really going to do those things. Do we need that in the contract? And a good lawyer will say, I'm not here to tell you what I think they'll do. I'm here to tell you what they would be allowed to do. There is nothing that prevents the Montana Republican Party from doing this, period. Now, in this particular case, it's going to be a non-starter because the Republican-funded Green Party candidate lost. The Green Party candidate that won, I believe, has been kicked off the ballot because he didn't actually have the number of signatures that they needed. So ultimately, it looks like it's just going to be John Tester again, which we all probably could have predicted. So in the end, it's not going to have an impact. But this is yet another strategy that you are allowed to do that Democrats should at least be aware of, and all voters should be skeptical of when they hear about any candidate.
And ranked choice voting would also solve this issue because if you
Yeah.
have someone super far left, they probably would vote for the Green Party as their first option, the Democratic Party as their second option,
Sure.
and then the Republican Party as the third option.
Yeah.
So given that the Green Party candidate's probably not going to win, that vote would go to the Democrat. And in that way, it's not like you're taking a vote away from the Democrat by
Sure.
voting for Green Party.
Yeah, of course, that would be a much better system than the one we have, but that is not, doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon, that's for sure.